Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nothing But Star Wars. I hope you all managed to have a safe Christmas or festive season, however you choose to celebrate. Around this time of year, we've all gotten used to a new Star Wars film opening in cinemas.
Turn off the flash, you moron!
But as we're not due another until 2023, wow, that feels like a long time away. I thought I'd have a look forward at the next big screen adventure we're due from the galaxy far, far away. At the Disney Investor Day on December 10th, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy announced the next Star Wars movie to open in cinemas would be titled Rogue Squadron, and directed by Patty Jenkins. As somewhat of a movie purist and a big fan of Star Wars space combat, this really was the news from the event that got me the most excited. Sorry, Hayden. So let's take a look at what small pieces of information we got from the event and various interviews with Jenkins to get an idea of what Lucasfilm might have in store for us come 2023. As there's not an awful lot of imagery for the new film, just enjoy this background footage of me playing X-Wing in Squadrons to fill the gaps. Director Patty Jenkins is probably best known for her work on the two Wonder Woman movies from DC and Warner Brothers. She also wrote and directed 2003's Monster, which won an Oscar for its leading performance by Charlize Theron. Side note, would love to see her in a Star Wars film. She released a short video on Twitter to accompany the announcement, explaining that her father's life as a fighter pilot inspired her to one day make the best fighter pilot movie of all time. My one qualm with taking inspiration from the US fighter wing of the Vietnam War is that George Lucas made the Empire in the original Star Wars an explicit allegory for American imperialism. Yeah, not sure about how to reconcile those two. However, Jenkins has proven herself an accomplished big-budget action director. I was almost hoping she'd take the directing chair on episode 9, but I could see why they asked J.J. Abrams to come back. And she likes to play with big, sincere, emotional themes alongside bombastic action, which I think is the ideal Star Wars sweet spot. She recently spoke with Collider about the process of pre-production and was quoted as saying, "We're finishing the treatment basically, which is really big." When asked about her collaborator on the screenplay, Jenkins said, "I want him to have his own proper announcement, so I'm going to wait until that comes out. The identity of this mystery screenwriter is pure speculation at this point. My dream is obviously Rian Johnson. I'm still bummed about his trilogy not happening, but I'm guessing they'll go for a current established Hollywood writer or a rising talent. We have no indication on any of the other crew, cast, or anyone else working on the film at this time." There's a lot of speculation about whether Jenkins will re-team with Wonder Woman lead Gal Gadot, but so far the new crop of Star Wars movies have avoided having big names from other massive franchises take the lead roles. Again, I'm assuming there'll be some newcomers, think the sequel trilogy leads, or some rising talent, think of the stars of the spin-off movies. So, with nothing to go on but that title, let's take a look at Rogue Squadron themselves, first in Legends and in canon. Normally I wouldn't cover Legends material, but most of Rogue Squadron's stories come from the old expanded universe, so it's worth taking a look. In Legends, Rogue Squadron was originally formed in the aftermath of the Battle of Yavin, and was largely comprised of what remained of Red Squadron. Known then as Rogue Group, they were led by Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles up to and including the Battle of Hoth. 1 year later, at the Battle of Endor, the group was renamed Red Squadron for the mission to destroy the second Death Star in honour of those who flew at Yavin. With the destruction of the second Death Star and collapse of the Empire, Rogue Squadron reformed into a group of 6. Wedge Antilles was Rogue Leader, commanding Wes Jansen, Derek Clivian, Tycho Kelchu, try saying that 5 times quickly, Plor Ilo and Lurnep. All 6 of them flew X-Wing fighters on missions to help the New Republic hunt down and defeat Imperial remnant forces. Though they occasionally took on other ships and switched out pilots, the key roster and recognisable image of the X-Wings remained constant. The squadron became so important to morale amongst the citizens of the New Republic that when the real squadron left to fight an independent battle against Warlord Izard, Republic High Command created another Rogue Squadron to take their place in the fleet. Rogue leaders throughout the years included Luke Skywalker, Wedge Antilles, Gavin Darklighter, cousin of Yavin hero Biggs Darklighter, Corran Horn, and Jaina Solo, daughter of Han and Leia. The squadron existed in various forms throughout every major post-Endor conflict, including the Bacta War, the battle against Grand Admiral Thrawn, the war with the Reborn Emperor, the Yuuzhan Vong War, and the Second Galactic Civil War. Their latest appearance in the Legends timeline saw the squadron taking part in the Sith Imperial War, a full 133 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. In canon, the formation of Rogue Squadron was slightly more impromptu. On a mission to defend the Mako Tar space docks, Luke Skywalker ordered his squadron to form up under the new moniker Rogue Squadron. He named the starfighter wing after Jyn Erso and her team to capture the plans for the Death Star under their call sign Rogue One, as it was their victory and sacrifice that allowed Luke and Wedge to destroy the battle station. The makeup of the squadron was more or less the same, with Skywalker, Antilles and Clivian making the jump from Legends to canon. No sign of Tycho Kelchu yet, but we can still dream. After the events of The Empire Strikes Back, Antilles took over leadership of the squadron while Skywalker left to continue his Jedi training. Post-Endor, the squadron was under the command of Hera Syndulla, who gave them the New Republic's most classified missions. One such mission involved assisting Vanguard Squadron in the capture of the Star Destroyer Victorum over Yavin Prime. As well as a wealth of comics and books from both Legends and canon, Rogue Squadron are also well known from a series of video games released between 1998 and 2003, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader, and Rebel Strike. Rogue Squadron was one of the Nintendo 64's most successful titles, with so many copies sold that there were no spare ones to send to reviewers, who had to rush to retail stores to find their own. Rogue Leader was a flagship title for the launch of the Nintendo GameCube, and Rebel Strike introduced ground missions in tandem with flight sim combat. Patty Jenkins has stated that while the film will not be a direct adaptation of any of the books, comics or games, the film will instead take great influence from those stories. She's quoted as saying, "There's a lot of things being acknowledged, but yes, it's an original story." Lucasfilm's official description of the film says, "The story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride, and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy." This, to me, sounds an awful lot like it will take place post The Rise of Skywalker. After all, the war between the Resistance and the First Order saw the decimation of the New Republic fleet and huge losses for the Resistance. Perhaps this movie will feature some of the pilots who appeared in the finale as part of the civilian fleet. It would give that scene an even better level of depth if some of the ordinary citizens of the galaxy chose to stay and help defeat the remnants of the First Order still at large in the galaxy. In terms of legacy characters we might see, I'm hoping at least for an appearance from Poe Dameron, maybe even some cameos from Rey, Finn and Rose. I'm hopeful Dennis Lawson returns to play Wedge, maybe as the curmudgeonly instructor for the new breed of pilots. Lawson stated he wasn't interested in returning to Star Wars in the run-up to The Force Awakens, but then went on to cameo in The Rise of Skywalker and voice Wedge in Star Wars Squadrons. What little marketing we have so far has been a little confusing with regard to what time period the film takes place in, but I figure that's more to do with recognisable imagery than anything else. The outline, the design and the orange flight suit of the original X-Wing is some of the most famous Star Wars imagery, and it could be that the Republic are using old X-Wing models to train their new recruits. Thanks to The Rise of Skywalker, we know at least one T-65 model in use as of the Battle of Exegol, and The Mandalorian has shown New Republic squadrons using old X-Wings half a decade after Endor. Even so, I'd love to see the T-70 or T-85 variation. The latter appeared in Resistance as the top-of-the-line fighter, but was never actually seen in live action. According to conflicting canon sources, either every T-85 was wiped out in the Starkiller incident, or some models still exist. I wonder if Rogue Squadron will begin with the new recruits training in cranky old T-65s, before being trusted to test newer models. Again, all speculation, and we've got another 3 years to do that. So there we have it. That's everything we know about the Rogue Squadron film and its possible sources from both canon and Legends. Let me know in the comments if you're excited about the film and what you hope happens. Many thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.